Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. If you're stuck and need help moving forward, be sure to book your complimentary cut to the chase call with me so we can talk about the ways I can help you. Book your call at yourvamentor.com/chase. Today, I want to talk about where to get the best advice for your VA business. I think it's me, but I'll give you a bunch of options. Today's quote is from Amy Poehler. Find a group of people who challenge you and inspire you, spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life. This isn't even necessarily a business quote, but this quote from Amy Poehler is one of my very favorites because I think it says everything I want about getting support. Challenge, inspire, change. Let's go. Getting advice about your virtual assistant business is such an important thing to do and to plan for. Two heads are better than one, they say, and I totally agree, in most circumstances anyway. For whatever reason, when we are a solopreneur, working by ourselves, we think that that means we have to do it all alone, all by ourselves. But I am here to tell you that all of the best business people have help. Why would you want to do it alone? Because you think you should be able to is definitely not the right answer. When we suffer or make mistakes, there are solutions. There is always a solution to whatever has gone wrong. Usually we don't want anyone to know that we failed and that we did something stupid. So we tend to keep that stuff to ourselves. We think no one will understand, that no one else could possibly ever have made the same mistake that we have. But they have. And the biggest issue is that if you don't know how to fix the problem, then you're going to just continue to struggle even more trying to handle it on your own. If you keep everything to yourself, you're probably not going to make it in business. Not only will it be much harder for you, but it's also lonely. Not to mention, what are you going to do when things actually go well? Who do you have to celebrate with? You need peeps. Peeps who understand and are there for you. Nobody expects you to do anything on your own, let alone everything. There are people who can help you with your business stuff. People you can get advice from, get support from. And that's what I want to talk about today. Let's start with your colleagues, other virtual assistants, women who do what you do, women who understand some of the things that you're going through on a daily basis. Without our VA colleagues, we would be lost. I would be lost. I don't know if there's another industry that's the same as ours in terms of helpfulness and advice and collaborativeness. Is that a word? I'm not sure, but being collaborative. Our colleagues, our VA colleagues, are amazing. They get it. And they often even have similar personalities to us. I'm not sure if that's because of the nature of what we do, but I like to call VAs support professionals. We're service-based businesses, and that means that we help people. It's natural. It's what we do. It's in our DNA. So when we're talking with our colleagues, we're naturally helpful. VA colleagues can be an unbelievably amazing support system for you in your business. Ask a question and you better believe you're going to get an answer. You might get a lot of answers. But, and this is a really big but, be sure that whoever you're taking advice from has done what you want to do. I see this every day in the VA groups online. Somebody asks a question and then they get a ton of advice. Some of it is actually terrible, in my opinion. If someone has not already done what you're trying to do, their advice might not be what you need. So be cautious. It can be hard to determine what the right thing to do is when you ask out loud, but I don't really advise against asking out loud. Just because you do doesn't mean that you have to take the advice you get, right? It certainly can make things worse. You can become overwhelmed, more overwhelmed than you were when you started. So it is really important to be cautious. The beautiful thing is, though, the more questions you ask in, say, a VA group or a community, the more trust you're going to build up with those people in the group. It's one of the reasons that I talk so much about really becoming a part of a community and not just using a VA group as an FAQ or popping up when you have a stressful issue. It's so important to be a part of that community. Becoming a part of a community means that you're there for the good and the bad, whatever your colleagues need too. And that's what your colleagues are there for you. You want to give as much as you get. You want to genuinely get to know your colleagues. Community is an amazing thing when you do it right. And being able to get the right advice takes effort from you too. Take the time to find your community and really become a part of it. And then you're going to know that they will have your back when you have something that you need help with. VAs also do vastly different things in our businesses, so your colleagues can actually be an amazing resource for learning new things or even deciding which platforms or tech to choose for yourself or for your clients. Drawing on the experience of others is really easy because we all speak the same language, more or less, and it can be easy to get recommendations or referrals and honest reviews of things that you're considering using in your business. To make the best of getting advice from your colleagues, my best tip is to be really specific in what you're asking for. So many times I see VAs kind of vague post and then they don't get the right feedback or responses or input. So take the time to really think about your question and provide any necessary details to help your colleagues help you. And do not forget to reciprocate. Offer advice when someone else asks. You can't be a one-sided part of a community. It doesn't work that way. You have to give as much as you take, and sometimes even more. Sharing your own experiences and knowledge is important as well. Not only does it help others, but it will help you too. No matter what's going wrong in your business, you're also doing so much right. You have done so much right before. You have experiences that others don't, and you have value and you have knowledge that others can use. Don't be shy to share it. They say that you only need to be one step ahead of someone else to teach them what you know. And I think that that goes for advice too. If you just landed your first client last week, you can absolutely tell someone else who has never gotten a client how you did it. That's always very amazing advice. You can also be someone else's cheerleader, which we all desperately need at times. And let's not kid ourselves. Helping other people makes us feel better, doesn't it? I know it makes me feel better. There's nothing like helping a VA through a place where they've been stuck to see them succeed. I run my business specifically to do this every single day. So that's why colleagues is my number one biggest place to get advice. I'm advising you to get advice from your colleagues for your business. Do be wary, though, of the negative folks and the ones who are giving advice, but they haven't done what you're trying to do yet. But be in your VA community and you're going to find amazing support. And the last thing I want to caution you about with getting advice from your VA colleagues is not to become too reliant on them for advice. Mike Michalowicz is an author who wrote an interesting book called Clockwork that talks about creating a business that runs efficiently on its own without you making every little decision. One of the tactics he teaches in the book is to empower your people to make their own decisions. Now, you may not have employees or be outsourcing parts of your business to others, but stay with me here for a second and I'll explain how I think this is relevant. Think back to your corporate job if you need to reference this. Trust me, it's really good advice. The person in charge, and that would be you in your business or your boss in your old workplace or even your clients that you might be working with now. That person in charge has to make all the decisions in order for everything to run smoothly. The people who are in place to do the actual work, the daily tasks, they come up against a bottleneck every single day waiting for that person to make decisions or approve things, even though they were actually hired to do that job because they were capable and knowledgeable. When the staff or the help is constantly asking questions before they have to proceed or before they're able to proceed, that becomes the normal response, right? They don't figure things out on their own. They don't proceed without approval. Things do not move fast. Things often stand still. But when you or your boss or your client empower the people that once again were hired to do this task or job to make their own decisions, they will take more responsibility and figure things out when they need to. I think it's such an important part of this book. And although the book may not be completely relevant to your business because you're not outsourcing or you're not, bringing in clients, you're a cog in that wheel working with your clients. And so you might be playing that role right now with your clients. Are you asking them questions every time you turn around? It becomes a habit very, very quickly. And I don't always think asking questions is a good habit. You're smart. You know what you're doing. You can make a decision. You can make a lot of decisions. And business runs better when you use your own brain and your experience and your intellect. And the same goes for asking your colleagues about advice for your business. See how I brought that right back around? You're brilliant. I know you are. There are things that you aren't sure about, of course, but you're much smarter than you give yourself credit for. Trust me, I talk to VAs like you every single day, and I can see your brilliance, all of you. So be careful of relying too much on advice from others. That was all of that is to, really caution you against that. I want you to trust yourself. And yes, seek advice, that's fine. Do your research, get input, but make your decisions and make your progress. When you make your own decisions, your self confidence also is going to skyrocket. It's a really great habit to form, and it's really easy when you just take that step forward. Number two is accountability partners. Finding an accountability partner can be a bit touch and go. I know it was for me, but when you find a great one, absolutely hang on to them. I've had my accountability partner for a long time, probably at least 10 years now, maybe more. An accountability partner is someone that you trust to talk to about your business one on one, but can also be so much more than that. It's someone that really gets to know you in your business and understands your personality and maybe we'll say your tendencies. And they help you when you need help. They support you when you succeed. It sounds the same as your colleagues, and they are, but because it's one on one, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. First things first, of course, you need to find a personality fit. I went through a number of accountability partners before I landed on Kathy, who is my accountability partner. The others just didn't fit for one reason or another. We weren't in the same place. We didn't have the same personalities. We just didn't, it just wasn't a good connection. We could go through the motions of what we were, supposed to be doing, but it just didn't work. I think for me more than anybody. So my accountability partner has actually become one of my besties, which doesn't always have to happen either. I can't imagine being besties with some of my other accountability partners, but that can be a natural progression. You have to really start to trust this person, right? So, what to look for in an accountability partner? Well, they need to be as ambitious as you are, for one thing. You both need to be pushing forward in the same way. And what I mean by that is if you aren't both working on building your business, one of you is inevitably going to fall behind. And when you don't move forward at approximately the same pace or in the same direction, then your partnership is definitely going to suffer. The key to getting great advice from your accountability partner is to be honest and to consistently meet for check ins. I suggest a regular schedule of whatever communication you want. I'm obviously partial to Zoom meetings. As you guys know, I love seeing people face to face. They're convenient, but phone calls and in person meetings also work. Whatever makes sense for both of you is what you're going to choose. You're going to schedule a day and time to meet, and you're going to stick to it like clockwork. Not the book, but clockwork. My partner and I meet every 2 weeks. You don't have to meet every day. We talk for 90 minutes every 2 weeks, and we talk on the phone. A little bit because I like to wander around and get stuff done while I'm talking to her. Of course, after 10 years, I don't need to sit down and be in front of my computer focusing on these calls. It's about conversation. So we talk for 90 minutes. Like I said, 30 minutes for her, 30 minutes for me, and then 30 minutes extra, which sometimes we do and sometimes we don't, but we just kind of shoot the breeze, which often brings up things that we forgot to mention in our 30-minute accountability stuff. But we're besties, so you don't need to do that extra 30 minutes if you don't want to. But your accountability partner should ask you good questions to challenge your decisions or activities, and they should help you stay accountable to get done what you say you want to get done. You can be as strict on this as you like, but we've found over the years that sometimes life does indeed get in the way of our goals, and that's okay sometimes. Don't let your partner off the hook all the time, but instead help remind them why they're trying to reach the goal they've set. Be honest and communicate clearly when you think something isn't sounding right and make sure that they do the same thing for you. We don't all have to become marketing experts or business experts or anything like that to be able to be a good accountability partner, but when you get to know somebody else's business or their tendencies or their personalities, you can go, I thought you said you were going to do this, or why did your goal change? You get to ask those questions because you're being put into that position of partnership, but of authority as well. So Sometimes we get shiny object syndrome or advice from somebody else that we get excited about, but it might not be a good decision for us. And if you have a good accountability relationship, your partner can probably see the red flags coming a mile away, even if you can't. So I think it's a really good way to get consistent and trusted support. The best advice I can give you about working with an accountability partner is to set goals. It's right there in the name, accountability. You have to do the check ins to get the advice, but you need to have the goals to know what you're trying to achieve. And that's always key with any kind of progress in business. Make sure that you're setting goals and then setting action steps in place to get to where you want to go before you talk again. Give yourself homework or get homework from your accountability partner and make sure you do it. If you have a busy couple of weeks coming up, you can set a small bit of homework. You don't have to always be working and overworking. It's not about overloading yourself, it's about making progress, even baby steps. And of course, again, you want to be cautious of becoming too reliant on your accountability partner. But I would challenge you to find someone that you can work with one to one. It could be a really big difference maker in your business. Number 3 is a group mastermind. Joining a group mastermind can be a really amazing decision for your business. One of the reasons is that when you put some skin in the game, you immediately become committed to the results, more committed to the results. Making an investment in your business is an excellent way to ensure that you're committed to moving forward. You are going to have a reason to show up and you're going to get the right support. You're going to prepare for your meetings so that you can get the advice that you're looking for, and you can use your experience to help others as well. Masterminds are really awesome because you aren't just a student, you're an actual active participant. Your knowledge is a really important part of the group, and you can share it with your colleagues who've also invested in their business to grow. A mastermind provides collective wisdom. It's not just the mastermind leader or coach that you get help from. I love running my mastermind group because of all of the wealth of knowledge that the members bring. Everybody knows so much stuff. And I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know everything. My mastermind group for VAs, I'm always amazed by what nuggets are shared by the other members of the group. Excellent advice, excellent resources, and so much more. Even networking becomes easier when you become a part of a mastermind group because you have regular business or conversations with your VA colleagues, and that translates. It makes conversations with other business owners just come more naturally to you. And yes, of course, you can join a mastermind that is for all kinds of entrepreneurs, not just for virtual assistants. But where's the fun in that? No, I'm just kidding. When I started growing my VA business, I joined a mastermind group that had a lot of different kinds of entrepreneurs in it. I learned so much from all of them. I learned just how much we have in common, even though we do very different things. It also taught me a lot about clients. The best advice I can give you about joining a group mastermind is to try it if you haven't already. You can't know the support you're going to get and the way that you're going to grow as a business owner until you've invested in yourself like this. When you take that step, sign up and show up, you're going to see yourself in a different light. You elevate yourself as a business owner. You're going to see how much you know and can share. And you're going to be able to ask good questions and get the support and the advice that you need. And you're going to get things done when you set the goals. I highly recommend it, and not just because I host one, but because I've done it myself. Remember what I told you. Get support and advice from people who have done something that you want to do. Now, last but certainly not least is working with a coach. There are a number of ways that you can work with a coach. Self-study learning, one-off consults, events, in a group setting. But in this case, I want to talk specifically about private coaching, one-to-one coaching. Working with a coach might be exactly what you need to get to where you want to go. I always tell VAs that if you have a clear goal and a specific deadline to achieve it, then consider working with a coach to get there. The deadline is the thing. Quite simply, you're going to get faster results by working with somebody one-to-one. You can get to where you want to go on your own. I tell everybody that all the time. If you're disciplined and you know the steps and you take them, but investing in someone to guide you along the way, it makes the journey quicker. We kind of call it cutting a check to go faster. If you listen to the recent podcast I was a guest on, that's one of the sayings or the quotes that come up, and it's you can pay to get to where you want to go faster. A coach will help you set the action steps in place for your goal and will hold you accountable to move through those action steps. When you hire a coach, you're hiring them for their expertise. In terms of a VA coach, you make sure that you find someone who has done what you're trying to do. This is my consistent message through this episode, isn't it? I've said that you can give advice to anyone that you're one step ahead of, and that is true. But when it comes to getting a coach one step ahead, really probably isn't the best investment for you to make. There are a lot of new VA coaches out there that are pitching their services. It doesn't mean that they can't help you. Please don't misunderstand me. But if someone hasn't been in business for at least a year, please be cautious of getting their advice and support, especially if you're paying them a lot of money for it. If you're looking for a coach, ask them how they can help you. What is their strategy or structure? I work with VAs to start or build their business. For the ones starting out, we build their business plan. I task them with deciding what their best services are. We set their rates, sometimes create packages or at least billable rates for their service offerings. We choose their target market and start connecting with them. We talk about time management and managing multiple clients. We figure out where they need to be marketing their VA business. There are lots and lots of things that go into setting up your VA business, even if you can start quickly and easily. For the ones who are struggling, we talk about their target market, their service offerings. We create packages that make sense for that target market. We price those packages properly. We do market research to find out the best clients, and we start connecting with those people. We have conversations with them. We learn how to network better. We book discovery calls. We create proposals. We work on whatever the thing is that's holding them back from getting the really great clients. And for the VAs who want to grow, we rebuild the business part so they can bring in subcontractors or change their service offerings so that their clients only pay them for the things that the VA wants to do. We raise their rates. We communicate the raises to clients. We take training and upgrade our skills and turn those into service packages. My private coaching is very much tailor-made for your needs and your personality, but I do have a structure for whatever the issue is that you are working through to get you to where you want to go. For private coaching, you are the one who has to do the work, though. The coach is not there to do it for you, and they are not there to push you. They're your advisor, and you have to take action to move forward. To effectively work with a coach, you have to listen, you have to do, and you have to ask questions. If you don't understand what you need to do, you have to get clarity. If you're struggling with the actions, you have to tell them so that they can help you move forward. A coach is the shortcut to the results you want, but that's going to cost you more than other types of support as well. Of course, it's one-to-one work, right? So you want to honor that investment that you're making and you want to do the work. My private clients get unlimited access to me in between our Zoom sessions so that they can ask me questions or update me on what they're doing. And not all coaches do that, but I think it's necessary to get the results. And I couldn't just talk to a VA every week and expect that they're going to reach their goals. It's the work time in between that is as important or maybe even more important than our calls themselves. I'm going to leave it off here for today. I know I've gone much longer than I planned to with this episode, but let's first circle back to Amy. Find a group of people who challenge you and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them and it will change your life. This, people, this. It really will change everything when you stop trying to do it all alone. That's really my main message of today's episode. Don't do it all alone. You don't need to, and you will struggle more if you try. Find your people, be their people too, and grow together. If you need help in your VA business, please get in touch with me. I'm here to help. It's the only reason I'm here at all, as you know, to help you become a ridiculously good VA. I've helped hundreds of VAs who are stuck get moving, and I would love to do the same thing for you. We can work together privately through my group coaching mastermind, the Virtual Circle, or private and self-study, free or paid trainings. I have lots of ways I can help you. Just be sure to reach out so we can talk about what you need. Thank you again so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you next time. I have a brand new low-cost monthly membership program that is going to help you build your VA business, and it doesn't require you to be on social media. It's an email membership that I call the Virtual Toolkit. Every Monday morning, you'll receive a lesson and a downloadable resource in your inbox that you can use to take a step further in your VA business. I've created a list of tons of amazing resources for you, from business foundations like financial stuff, calculators, website planning stuff, to marketing tools like branding worksheets, blogging templates, content calendar, marketing campaign planners, to advanced business skills like package planning, branding tools, onboarding checklists, and so on, and personal growth stuff like goal setting worksheets, speaking tips and tools, and conflict resolution tools. All of this is available to you for just $9 a month. You get your first resource as soon as you register, and every Monday after that, you will get a fresh new one. I'm super excited about it. I would love for you to go and check it out. Go to yourvamentor.com/the virtual toolkit. Check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.